Hey there, fangirl. Why, thank you, I appreciate it. Figured I'd just do a nice laid back stream today, work on some hair. Well, if you want an easier way to paint in skin tones, look at the Garage Kit colors. I mean, they have pretty much good colors right out of the bottles. You could pick a dark, a light, and a medium, and just go that route first. That's just a simple way of doing it. Or if you really wanted to, you can mix up a bottle of light, dark, and medium. And just practice doing that. And then as time goes on, you can start adding in more transparencies and stuff like that. Quiet day. Not much going on. Got a lot of work done. Figured I'd do something a little bit easier for now. Plus, this is the last of my Ave supplies till they get more in, so I'm at the mercy of supplies being delayed. Hopefully your day's going better. Hopefully the camera's a little bit better than what I used to do. Where are you located at? Ah, okay. Yeah, we got the cold weather hitting here for us, and don't want to be outside or doing anything. I'm just doing a base layer for now. I gotta add all the details later. I don't know, I just find it so peaceful to sculpt hair. I don't know why. I'm not even sure what kind of style I want to do yet for this. I'm just kind of winging it at the moment. I have only used safety solvent and Aves. I've tried other stuff and their safety solvent is made for it, and I find that it's just, there's no sense of trying anything else. I mean, you can if you want to, but honestly, safety solvent to me seems to be working the best for what I do. And if you buy the, was it the 16-ounce container, it'll last you, and just go with it. I mean, if you're going to try to save like $3 or try something else, you might as well just get the safety solvent in a big container. Yeah, this Firestar it kind of just came out of the blue because I had this damaged Phoenix statue, and a client of mine was talking about wanting one done to go with an Iceman and everything, and I mentioned to him I had a damaged body. We got to talking, and it's kind of like a side project. Whenever I have time or I need to kind of do something else, I kind of work on this. So far it's coming along pretty decent. You know, working out the collars, I did the arm pieces, the feet and stuff are done too, but they're all wrapped up. I'm glad you like the hair sculpt. It's got a long way to go. Just started it, so a lot of it will probably change. But like I said in the beginning, my Aves is this is the last of it. Put in an order and they said their stuff's backed up, so probably not going to get any Aves for a while. And this is kind of getting old and hardening on me, so. What's up, Metal Vault? That's fine. Glad you stopped by. See you later, fangirl. Thanks for stopping in. Don't be nervous, Brutus. Just repair it or get an item in practice. All it is resin and paint. Hey Tom Vigilante, how you guys doing? Yeah, I think that's all we can do, is just hang in there with this crappy year. Yeah, if you're repairing a foot to a base, that's tricky only because if you don't repair it strong enough, somehow you're going to run into an issue with it breaking again if you slam it on there. So you got to kind of think of that a little bit. If that's what I'm thinking you're going through. Cyberpunk character? Never thought of it. I got a bunch of other characters I got in mind before anything like that. After I do my Jessie custom from Pokemon. If this stuff went by faster, I could do all sorts of characters, but that's not the case with this sculpting and painting. And this is just Dave's. This will get painted anyway. Jesse's come along pretty good. The black latex is done and the white outfit I did today. I'm going to change up the base a little bit just as paint work. So pretty much all I have is some detailing and the hair and I'm done. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it, man. So is everyone working from home? Everyone back to work? What's going on with you guys? Man, that sucks. Yeah, I noticed a couple people got the battle axe this friggin' summer. Yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way too. I was with a company for 11 years of graphic design and then poof, they're like, you're gone. Closing the company. Yeah, I always just prime. I don't know. I don't. The only way you can over prime something is if it's one of these statues that got like lots of little detail, and if you keep over priming that area, you're gonna lose the detail. Um, so I guess you just gotta. There's thinner primers out there too. There's not. I use filler primer, but there's thinner ones. Duplicolor makes regular primer and filler primer. The regular primer is not bad, but I don't like it because it's too thin for trying to find errors on my customs. But you can use it on, you know, kits and statues and stuff. Tamiya makes a primer too. That stuff is fairly thin, I think. And then they have, some people have primers that you can do out of the airbrush, like garage kits. So Vigilante, you been able to find anything else, or are you kind of like in limbo? Wow, that sucks, dude. Yeah, they're over here in New Jersey. They were talking about closing all the restaurants for the winter. I'm just like, everyone's just gonna go out of business. Why do you have to close them? Yeah, it's probably, you're at that phase where it's time for a change, right? Yeah, I feel you on that one. That's why when I got let go and I was struggling there for a year or two, I started taking on more statue work. And I just said, screw it. You only live once. So, rather be happy than miserable. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be forced into something. It's better to take a chance once than not. That's what I did with this statue work. Just gotta have a good work ethic. Get up every day and just do it. bring this one over a little bit more. Yeah. I probably should have did the mask after I did the hair, but mask took me a while. Not easy. Gonna have to add a lot of hair underneath here later. Actually, for you guys that might not know, this head is actually the Troy McDvitt Wonder Woman Halloween bust head he did. He did these ornaments, you know, like Superman, Wonder Woman. At the Jersey Fest show, I saw it on his thing, and it was perfectly in scale with this item. So I actually said, what the hell, let's change up the head. Yeah, I know my music doesn't have a great selection, but it's hard to come by royalty-free music. I try to find the mellow stuff. There's a lot of crazy royalty-free stuff that's just actually would annoy me. But if I ever do stuff on Picardo, that's where I could play any music. Nah, this was not a good summer. so I didn't do much streaming at all. Just not a good year in general. Trying to get back on to things, and hopefully things will get back to normal. There's a couple other sites popping up now. I think one site is called Rumble. So I kind of signed up there, and I figure I'd try and start posting videos there as well. I don't know if they're going to do live streaming. Only because YouTube, it's so much stuff going on these days. I looked at DLive, not really sure yet. Like, everything's up in the air still. I don't know, I'm just waiting for one day just to get kicked off the platform for no reason. So all my videos get demonetized now. I don't say or do anything. I don't know how statues are not advertiser friendly, but they aren't, so. Which means I could still post, but the ad revenue does help keep the channel going. Yeah, makeup tutorials will probably be where the money's at, so. Although I think it's when I talk about skin tone is why the videos get demonetized. I don't know why, but sometimes I get like a message saying this point in your video is not allowed or something, and I'm just like, what? I don't know. Well, I did do the Twitter account, so I guess if you guys want, you can sign up on my Twitter, just in case if something ever does happen, you don't know why I'm not on the platform anymore, I can post there. And then my website. I try to post on the Instagram a lot now. It's kind of easier. Yeah, I did actually sign up on Parler as well. So I'm on Parler, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. I'm not doing Facebook though. I refuse. I'm already spread thin as it is, doing videos, posting them, commissions. If I keep adding all this stuff, I'll never get anything done. Oh, okay, that's you. Yeah, she's, like I said, she's getting there. The goal was to have it done by this weekend, but didn't work out that well. Chris, I just get cheap brushes. They're just like watercolor, cheap brushes. They're, I go to Jerry's, not Jerry's Artorama, Jerry's, I forget what it is. It's up in like North Jersey area. And they have back to school sales all the time. And I just pick up all kinds of brushes that are like 60, 70% off. Reason why is because they get destroyed after a few sculpts. Yep, it's West Orange Jerry's. Is it Jerry's Artorama or Jerry's Supply? I forget which it's called. They always got really great sales on back to school. You can order online to various stores too, but if you don't know what you're getting, it's kind of a pain. But I like to see what I'm buying. Yeah, I like going up to that Jerry store. The only problem is it's all up north. So when I head up north to see family and friends, I try to make a trip over there when I can. I used to go to the place Pearl that was on the Parkway in Woodbridge, but they closed down a long time ago. Used to love Pearl, man. Never heard of Rag Shop. Is that a art store or something? Nah, never heard of it. I go to the Michaels by me, but there is nothing in there really. If I just want to find trinkets or some basic paints in a tube, that's all Michaels is really for over here. Although there's this place called it's a hobby store in Lakewood, Jersey. They got some decent paints in there, but it's mostly like, you know, remote control cars. Forget the name of it. Hobby Supply, maybe? I think that's what it's called. No, not Hobby Lobby. It's I think it's called Hobby Supply. There is a Hobby Lobby, but that's like 45 minutes away from me. This is like Hobby Supply or something. Hobby Lobbies are nice. They got some good stuff in there, but not anyone really that close to me. Yeah, the one Hobby Lobby I do go to once in a while, I'm able to find some really cool stuff in there, but it's more like trinkets for statues and stuff that I can't find anywhere else. But the best supplies to buy for what I do is mostly like that Jerry's place. They got all the airbrushes, airbrush paints, brushes. They even started selling a lot of Aves, even though I buy it from the Ave store anyway, it's cheaper. But at least they started carrying Aves there. What I try to do is when they have the Jersey Fest show, I go to the Jersey Fest show and then I take a trip over to the Jerry's. It's kind of like becoming a tradition until we didn't have it anymore for this year. Depending on what kind of belt you're looking for, but if you're looking for like just a superhero, Superman type belt, I just take the A's, make a ball, roll it out with some baby powder. You know, just take your A's, roll it out, flatten it, cut a strip, and just wrap a strip around the item with baby powder, but like kind of wet it down a bit. And it's pretty much how I do belts. It's how I wrap around arms, legs, and stuff like that. Get yourself some baby powder. Just try not to get the baby powder that stinks to high heaven with perfume though. Unless you can take it, then that's fine. Get a cheap rolling pin at Walmart. Just think of it as like baking a cake, you know, when you're doing or a pie. And you could cut strips, you can cut all kinds of stuff out of it. Just the safety solvent makes life a lot easier, because if you put baby powder on Aves, it doesn't stick, but once you like wet it back down with the safety solvent, it gets sticky again. Yes, same thing with doing her armor. Two ways of doing it. You can roll out Aves, and you can put a thick layer of Aves evenly around the chest or the waist, and you can cut your lines out for the armor. Or you can sculpt higher, like what I usually do, but make sure your line work is perfect, and then you just sand it down afterwards, and you shape it. So as long as your outside lines are perfect with the armor, and you sand it down, it works. You just gotta kind of find a way that works for you, I guess, in a sense. Yeah, I use, I ordered a case of this stuff off of, some, I forget what did I get? Some, beauty, site or doctor site or something, because this is the same stuff you get like in a hospital, but it doesn't stink to high heaven. So I bought like a case of 50 of these things. It's the best thing I ever did too, which is funny. Because I tried those heavy perfumed ones you get at like, you know, the store, and my whole house just smelled like crazy baby powder, so I got rid of those. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Just safety solvent, Aves, and baby powder, you could do a lot with it. What, all this stuff over here? Probably won't last too long. I'll probably just use it to fill up a base I'm working on, because this is the very last of the A's I have in my drawer. It's kind of old, and sadly it's pretty tough as it is already. I called A's and I got a Black Friday order. They had 20% off, so me and a friend put in an order, but they called me back and they said their supply run is pretty low, so they have to kind of wait until they get some more of the safety solvent in before they can ship me mine. I got a few items around here that I can just slap A's on just to fill in something. I'm going to try to use most of it now, but I don't know if that'll work. If you buy Aves and you don't use it, just throw it in the refrigerator. It'll last longer. That's what the owner from Aves told me. If you're not using it, or you think you're not going to use it too much in a week or so, just throw it in the refrigerator. It'll last long. The only problem is when you pull it out of the refrigerator, it's tough as all hell. But it'll defrost really fast. I go through Aves fast, so I don't really put it in the fridge. But if you think you're not going to use it for a while, just throw it in there. Not the safety solvent though, you don't want that stuff near your food. Gotta try to give her some more volume in the back. Yeah, it's looking a little bit better. Kind of. Now when your Ave starts getting a little bit tougher, if you have the solvent, you could kind of soften it back up a bit. I know you're not supposed to put your fingers in this stuff probably, but I just don't care. Now this is a Aves Fix-It Sculpt that I put a little bit of the red Aves into it just to give it a pinkish hue. You don't have to, but I just do it for the hell of it, just so I can see. So usually after I do that, I go wash my hands real quick just to kind of get some of the residue off. Be right back. What's up, the Mind Boggler? Hopefully I said that right. Can't really see it from here. Well, glad you're enjoying the stream. Guess it's kind of late for you over there. Maybe the music will put you to sleep. Not really sculpting like the pictures I have up there, but I'm trying to kind of do my own little twist on it. I figure kind of have it blowing all this direction. Yeah, gotta try to keep it as classic as I can, but not too cartoony. With my own little twist on it. I was going to do the zipper here, but the zipper I have I don't think will work on here. It'll probably fall off. So I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this part here. Would love to have the zipper, but I just know if I try and glue that zipper, because I was kind of messing with it here to do this, but I know it would just break off all the time on there, so might have to come up with something else. The mask, you know, all these different drawings have like, you know, all these two things of, or three things of mask. I went with the, you know, this one up over here. This is just one of those projects I get to do whatever I want. Just kind of little side thing. And the guy who wants it just says do whatever you want with it. He'll take it, so. Should be a cool looking setup having this, because I think what he says is he wants to take the old Spider-Man premium format, take the cloth off, and have her Spider-Man and everything in the setup, which would be kind of really cool looking. Hey Terrell, yeah, trying to get back into things. Yeah, this is the Dark Phoenix body. Sideshow Dark Phoenix. With a Troy McDvitt Wonder Woman ornament head. I don't have a link to his site, but he was selling these at the Jersey Fest show. And I picked it up, I want to say a year ago? Or 2 years ago? I had the head sculpt sitting on my shelf forever, and then I got this body. I said it'll be perfect. Going with a simple base too. Where did I put her base? So as of right now, this is all I did for her base. We're going simple because he said, you know, on the shelf he doesn't have a lot of room for it, so it's just going to be this with some flames. But I got to work out the flames when I get a chance. It's Andres, it's just Aves. I sculpt everything with Aves. So this is Aves Fix-It Sculpt. And all I did was put a little bit of the regular Aves red into it, just to get a tint. But those containers are just about empty. Yeah, it's a good sculpt. I like this Phoenix statue. It's a really great sculpt. It was just the base, I think, was just way too big. I mean, sometimes these statues, I'd rather just focus on the character than the crazy base. I don't mind the missing foot on her, but it was just the base. It was just... I had a lot of people saying that their base is cracked on them and they need repairs, but you can't repair clear resin. Just can't do it. I mean, you can, but it's never going to look brand new again. It's one of those things. But they'll make another one. after I finish Jesse, I gotta figure out another item to pick up. I got another character that should be kind of fun to do, but gotta find a good statue for it. Are you guys working on anything special or new lately? Skin tones? Yeah, skin tones are a pain. But just keep doing it, you'll come up with your own little system. Wolverine and Poison Ivy? Any specific sculpts off of those? Sith Lord, that's should be pretty cool. I like it when you go outside the box on a sculpt. Wall bed? I'm not sure what that is. And Laura Craft? Laura's always a good one. If you're going to get into casting and you want to get the feel, from what I understand, it's just polystone is just basic resin with stone powder. That's all it is. And I think Smooth On sells this stuff. Should call them up if you want to get into casting. They got all kinds of info and stuff. That should be kind of cool. Terminator head on that. I'm actually waiting to get in whatchamacallit, that Deja Thors from Sideshow. I'm gonna have a fun custom idea with that one. I like that sculpt a lot. Yeah, building arms and all that stuff's a pain, but I'm sure you could do it. Yeah, Smooth-On's stuff is absolutely amazing. They're so helpful too. When I went to their store a few months back, when I went to visit a friend in PA, just pretty much asked the guy a whole bunch of stuff. He was kind enough to help me out with everything. They even had a seminar going too, which was kind of cool. There was a couple of people sitting in there going over stuff. Too bad I live too far away now from them. The difference between Abe Fix-It Sculpt and Abe's Epoxy Sculpt is the Fix-It is a little bit tougher. It doesn't sag. So, like, as I'm working on this stuff, as you can see, like regular Abe's, this starts sagging down right away. It'll take me 2 hours with regular Abe's before I can start doing this. But what happens is, it'll be too tough. Fix-It Sculpt, within like, you know, an hour or a half hour, you can kind of start doing this, and it doesn't sag on you. And they also have Abe's Fix-It, which is kind of, I don't know the difference between that. But I like their Fix-It Sculpt for hair. Because now, like, what am I, in the hour, 20-minute mark now or so? And I could kind of do this with the hair, and it doesn't, you know, it's not falling down on me. It's letting me kind of play with it. You know, I could kind of do this. And that's why I like Fix-It Sculpt for the hair. Yeah, Terrell, if you're live in the area, like, and you get on their list, the guy, like, the salesman guy, he, like, travels up and down the East Coast, I guess, I don't know. So he stopped by one day and dropped off a sample to me of some new products, which is kind of cool. I didn't even ask him, they just did it. You know, so that's kind of cool what they do. Thanks, Gloden. Yeah, the Jessie's coming along pretty well. I missed my window for this week, but hopefully in another week or so she'll be finished. Had a little sidetrack with the base. Gonna do something different. I mean, I'm gonna keep the base the way I have it, but I'm gonna paint it different. Yeah, no problem, Andres. It's good stuff. It's you know, they have a bunch of different products, so you should buy samples of all their products, get used to it, and then you'll find out what you like best. The newest Sideshow Catwoman, I have no clue. It's kind of hard for me to... I don't remember it offhand. I would have to look it up. I'm sure there's ideas for them. You can always kind of take off the mask if she's got the eyes and stuff and sculpt hair. Give her dangly earrings. You know, who the hell knows? You can do all kinds. Yeah, I could have removed the mask and stuff, but the problem is it would have been so fragile. And literally to try to get something like this without breaking and durable, I kind of had to keep it on the statue, so it's kind of there permanently. Not the end of the world, I'm just taking a a little bit slower time with going around and sculpting. That's the problem with Aves and Magic Sculpt. The thinner you get, and if you do a magnet, you could snap it here and here with ease. So I don't want to do that. I've never been to the Complete Sculptor, but I still get their Magic Sculpt. I like their Magic Sculpt for a lot of things, just not sculpting, that's all. Not really a fan of it to try to sculpt with. Thank you, Bruno. I'm glad you like them. Like I always say in my streams, you know, it's kind of like paying it forward. I learned from other people in the hobby. It's also showing people what I do. If they get comfortable and like what I do, they want to commission me. So I don't mind sharing everything. Plus, I find video editing kind of fun. I want to learn a little bit more, but I can't spend too much time doing it. Although all I use is iMovie. Still gonna get in Premiere. Oh, what is a Final Cut? But someday. Yeah, the collar's going to stay here. The collar is here. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do the zipper still. So she's going to have a little bit of cleavage showing. Captain Thunder, if you want to start sculpting, just start sculpting. If you don't want to do Aves like I use for this stuff because it cures on you and you want to go back to it, go over to Michael's, get some Super Sculpty. Just start sculpting something for fun. Bake it, get used to it. If you want to get into customizing, then you can get yourself a cheap Bowen statue or a cheap Bowen Designs bust or something off eBay and just sit there and sculpt something onto it and have fun. You know, you could probably get a bust for like 20-30 bucks. Mess around with it, and then if you feel you want to go further, you start buying more tools, you buy more equipment. Start off small. Don't dive into it and spend like $5 grand, $3 grand, and then you're like, I don't want to do it. Spend like 50 bucks, get some Aves, get some a statue, and just mess around. I didn't even know they teased a figure like this. I'm at a loop with everything. One day I'll get to their store. I know my friend's been there a few times. Ryukin or Ryukin, if I said it right. This is the Phoenix statue from Sideshow Collectibles with a Troy McDvitt Wonder Woman ornament head. So it's not the same head that came with the statue. DaVinci Resolve, I'll look into it. Is that, if it's on the Mac platform, I'll look into it. I'm a Mac person, I'm not PC, so. Although I don't want to start an argument over it. Yeah, I watched the YouTube stuff for Sideshow. I love the way that they paint their heads and stuff. They're absolutely amazing. It's not really how I do it, but I like what they do. They're amazing painters. They really are. And they make it look so damn simple too. Hopefully they do more. I really enjoy those videos. Alright, cool. I will check into the program when I get a chance. Although, I kind of want to hold out for the new M1 Max. Even though I upgraded last year, these new M1s are absolutely mind-blowing. So maybe in another year or two I can get myself a nice like M2 or M3 iMac. Right now I'm on Intel and it's pretty much it's a heat machine and loud as hell. That's my worst subject is photography. In art school, my photography teacher hated me. I'm not good with photography. She used to yell at me all the time, and I just didn't do well. I need to get myself a camera that can just take the picture amazingly and be done with it. I'm already overloaded with everything I'm trying to do and learn between sculpting, painting, video editing. I mean, how's the camera work here now? I mean, is it better than what I used to do? Better angle? At least I don't have the thing next to me kicking it every 5 seconds. Yeah, I wouldn't eat this stuff. So yeah, see, as it starts to get hardened, like you can lift up the hair a bit and it doesn't sag. So like I can lift that up off her shoulder and it starts to stay up now and it doesn't sag. So that's the quick thing about this stuff as it gets harder. Yeah, I got my friend, I'm gonna build a better stand in my office for putting the statues on, and then if I can get a better lighting in there down the line, a better camcorder. Yeah, I can only do so much at a time. You know, all these other guys on YouTube, they got like 4K, 8K, 6K cameras or whatever the hell they got. I just gotta start small. Yeah, I did a video on it of my video setup on YouTube of some upgrades, and I show the video arm that I have that I'm using right now. So it's actually right above me and it's over here. So literally I can now like take the camcorder and kind of twist it, you know, and move it around. So small upgrades. Next is I got to get one of these arms for my airbrush booth. I've been looking everywhere. I don't want to spend a ton of cash, but I want to get something to put my old camcorder up in there. So this way when I film, I don't have to worry about that camcorder getting too dusty or all messed up. But haven't really been able to find something cheap for it. There's a lot out there, but I'm not ready to drop another 200 bucks on an arm for the airbrush booth. So I gotta come up with something. I was looking at a lot of those monitor arms. I did buy one off of Amazon, but it was absolutely crap, and I guess that's what you get for 30 bucks. I was looking at those whatchamacallit, microphone stands, which is kind of like, you know, almost like one of these light things, you know, that you move up and down. But the problem is I can't fit it in the airbrush booth where I want to put it. I'll figure out something sooner or later. But at least I can process videos now faster than my old Mac Pro. So it doesn't take me like all day just to do one video anymore. I also got to finish working on my website. The old system was obsolete, so I had been redoing it. Website's a good backup tool. This is not a bad start to this hair. Zephyr, it's just epoxy sculpt with some epoxy fix-it sculpt with red A's mixed into it. So it's just sculpt material that I can see while I sculpt. That's it. It's going to get painted and primed and all that stuff when it's done. Anytime you see something like this where it's gray primer and sculpt, it's just sculpt work. The paint comes very last, so just preference, just how I like to see what I'm sculpting. Very rarely will I ever do something where I'm sculpting it and painting it at the same time. Unless it's like a kit or something where you gotta kind of build and paint at the same time. But for this, it's just a custom I'm sculpting and then I'll paint. I think a lot of little anime kits that I customize, sometimes the way they key their items, I have to paint it and sculpt at the same time. But not many. Nope, no base coat, nothing special. All this is, like I showed before, it is A's Fix-It, which that's pretty much the color of it. And then all I did was put a tiny bit of regular A's Fix-It sculpt red to make it pink. That was it. Everything I do in my videos is with A's sculpt with the red, only because I see it better when I'm sculpting. I've tried the natural color, the white colors, I can't see what I'm doing. But the red or the making it pink just helps me see. You know, because I got gray primer on everything, and then this red there just helps me see. if it makes sense. But there is Aves colors. You know, they have a lot of colors in their Aves. And you can sculpt with that and sand it and leave it as is. If you wanted to. But for me, I paint everything anyway, so. May look like I'm not doing much to it, but I'm trying to kind of fine tune it a little bit more and clean up some areas. Everything gets primed. You know, I gotta sand it, I gotta add more Aves, I gotta... Sometimes what I'll do is, if I'm working on something, I'll prime it, I'll sand it, I'll add more Aves, I'll prime it again and sand it. So like, you can see underneath here, there's all different color Aves and primer. I was just using a lot of different stuff to kind of build this up. So yeah, I build and prime, build and prime. And at the end, I sand, fine tune, prime, and then I paint. Yeah, anime kits, I find that they do fit well, but they are loose. They're not really like, you got to do a lot of like hair dryer work too to get pieces to fit together. But I enjoy anime kits though, I really do. Because a lot of them are just bare females or sculpts. You could kind of get the bare sculpt and just kind of have fun with it. Customize it, make something else. Yeah, what I also might do too on my sculpts, like with this hair, sometimes if I don't like an area after it hardens, I'll Dremel it out and I'll re-sculpt it and I might prime it again. So I do everything. The goal is to get exactly what you want before you paint. And however that works, it works. It's always the end result that counts. Vigilante, for anime kits, you could go on eBay. There's also there's a couple anime kit sites out there. I forget all of them, but they're everywhere. They're cheap too, so you can find like a nice $50 anime kit and have fun with it. Oh, Williamstown? Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, I think I've seen her channel a few times, and I think there's a bunch of other anime guys out there. It's just so much on YouTube, so... Yeah, I got a few other anime kits that are on my shelf. I plan to do some stuff with down the line. Only because I saw deals or I liked it or a friend gave it to me, one or the other. I like the idea of customizing anime kits now. Yeah, that E2046 site. I've heard about that site as well. There was another one that I ordered from a while back, but was it, I think it's, what is it, Hobby Link? I think that might have been it, or Hobby Link. I think it's Hobby Link. I got Bayonetta kits from them a long time ago. You didn't like the face sculpt? You sculpt from scratch, or were you tweaking it? Well, you know, like I always tell people, if you didn't like what happened, if you could find another item in scale, just swap out the head. That's what I did a few times in the beginning of this hobby. I tried doing face sculpts. I was like, this is horrible. I don't know what I was thinking. And then I found the statue. I'm like, yeah, let me just put this head on it. And then it worked. So I was like, oh, alright, well that's a simple fix. I do know some of the kits on eBay, I forgot what they said. You got to stay away from a certain country of the kit because it's the whatever resin they use. It's really, really bad. I forgot. It was bad in the sense that it's like you get no detail from the kit. It's very like chalky. I seen a few of those back in the day. Hey Raccoon, how you doing? Yeah, it might have been the Thailand kits. I think that was the ones that somebody told me to stay away from at one of the old shows back in the day. They said it's very chalky kits. And I think I bought one on eBay, and when I got it, it was just very like... It didn't feel like resin, if that makes sense. Oh, that's what they do. Yeah, that kind of explains it. Yeah, I think I still got one of those old kits in my box of parts. Yeah, I think a couple of those sites do that. You know, there was one site that they used to sell kits. It was based in California. It was Hobby, it was Hobby something. They were in California. I used to order from them back in the day a bunch, but it seems like they don't do kits anymore. They only do like PVC statues. You know, like anime PVC. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that one. But they're in California. They were known for doing garage kits a lot. And you used to have to get in on an order from them. And when everybody got in on the order, they would do it. But yeah, I think they only do PVC statues now. But mostly I still like the Sideshow and, you know, stuff, the polystones. They just work so well. You know, they got a nice feel to them. They Dremel. I like the scale. Just the days of finding broken ones cheap are gone. Everything is close to retail, even damaged, almost. I guess you could say it's a little bit sexier version. It's gonna have some cleavage once I figure out the line here. It's just a Dark Phoenix statue, so. Yeah, I actually had a couple of those Bayonetta kits from, Volks? I think it's Volks. I had two official ones from Volks of Bayonetta, but I never did them. And I got so backlogged one year on stuff, and I needed funds, so I just sold those kits off. Got a nice chunk of change of them because they were official Volk kits, so I think it's called Volks. If I'm wrong, let me know. Yeah, the Spider-Woman one was nice. She had a leaning issue, though. That was the only downfall with that one. For PVC statues, honestly, I don't mess with PVC only because I've tried to in the past and they melt when I try to sand them and chop them. But you can use Aves, what I'm using right here, on PVC. Nothing's going to happen to them. This stuff would work fine. You just gotta, like anything else, just sand it down and paint it. But yeah, you can use Aves over PVC if you want. Not going to do anything. Yeah, Vigilante, if you wanted to sculpt over a wire, it's actually easy if you got the time. If you have a wire, get some Aves or Magic Sculpt. Just go over the wire, you know, just go over the wire like so, right? Let that cure up after an hour or two or a day, and then after that sculpt over it and it won't bend on you. It's basically the same thing as building an armature, you know? Get your armature, build it, and then you sculpt onto that. I do it all the time. Like if I have to, like say if I was to do a strand on her hair, I could put in a wire and bend it, put some Aves around it, just a little tiny Aves, let it cure, and then the next day just sculpt onto that, and you don't have to worry about it. To Zo, this is the Dark Phoenix statue, or the Phoenix statue from Sideshow Collectibles, and it is a Troy McDvitt Wonder Woman ornament head. Yeah, Vigilante, trust me, I've I've sat here plenty of times and I racked my brain over stuff saying, how the hell do I do this? And sure enough, I'm like, oh, I just throw some Aves there, walk away, come back, and it's hardened. Don't be afraid of sculpting sessions. One went for 1,800? Damn. I think I sold mine at the wrong time. Tom Mason? I'll look into that. Yeah, the guys who do miniatures are amazing. I can't see stuff that small. You never know. Sometimes people will drop the cash if it's up there long enough and nothing else is there for sale. See, now this age is starting to get really tough now. Enough to smooth it out, but to cut it. But it still works. Ah, okay. Now sometimes when I start getting into the smaller stuff, I gotta break out the magnifying stuff for the head so I can see a little bit better. I use this one a lot to put different ones onto it. Cheap off eBay, it's pretty good. Yeah, Raccoon, I use a lot of Aves. I mean, safety solvent. I am not shy with it. I use a lot. When I freshly mix it up, I use rubber gloves and I dip it in there and I keep going and going and going until I get really soft. So I'll give you an example. This Aves right here is pretty soft. It's tacky. Well, it's old. So if I really want to soften this up, you got to throw safety solvent in there, right? So I'm dipping my finger in there. I'm getting it soaking wet. You could use rubber gloves if you want, you know. But the more safety solvent you put in there, the more it becomes, like you said, bubble gum. So see how it's nice and soft? It stretches. But as it gets, you use it more and more and it gets older and older, it starts getting very tacky and it gets all over your hand. So that's something to keep in mind. But now that this is really nice and soft, right? What we can do, you know, I'm just keep putting the safety solvent on it. Just get nice and soft. It's almost like you said, bubble gum. And say I want to throw a piece here, right? So now I go back in with my paintbrush with some safety solvent, and it's nice and smooth. It goes over nice and smooth there. And you get a nice smooth flow with the paintbrush. And it blends pretty well. It's nice and, you know, it works out really well like that. So I have a container here with safety solvent, but every time I order Aves, I buy a whole container of 16-ounce safety solvent, so I go through a lot. Can't be afraid to mix some in there and get it smooth. You're not going to destroy the Aves unless you put so much in there it becomes like milk, which I've never actually gotten to that point. But you got to put enough in there to get it nice and smooth. So now it's nice and smooth. If you get a thinner brush, you could kind of just go nice and smooth, take it around. Now, I know some people say they use water, but you will not be able to do what I just did with water. Water will just make it milky. It will, the paintbrush will pull it. You'll be grabbing chunks of it. Some people swear by alcohol. Same thing, that evaporates too fast. The owner from Aves says if worst case scenario you can just spit on your statue and use saliva. He says that's your next best bet. As far as evaporation, no. It really doesn't like evaporate on you in 5 seconds. So you see how nice and smooth that was on that one? But you see how it's kind of clunky over here? That's because this is kind of drying up, and then you got to kind of use some Aves to sort of, safety solvent to sort of smooth it out a bit. But I'll probably go back into these areas tomorrow and add more strands. Like what I did there, nice and smooth. I'll do over these areas a little bit to give it more wave and like craziness. Like I said, you know, I understand some people want to save a buck or two, or they don't want to spend more money on stuff, but they make the safety solvent specifically for their product, and it works. I'm not trying to shill her for them or anything, it works. It's called safety solvent. That's exactly what it's called. If you go onto the Aves Studio website, it's called safety solvent. So I guess it's kind of like a safer means to make this stuff thin. I guess that's why they call it that. I had a conversation with the guy from Aves, and he says that, you know, using water or other chemicals doesn't destroy it. It will if you use too much, but you don't get it smooth. Yeah, Raccoon, just yeah, just go with the solvent. It works. But like I said, you know, everybody's different. Some people swear by water, some people swear by other stuff. I just go with the solvent. Was it, am I seeing it right? Mockery? You can, like I said, you can use water. It's not going to destroy it, but it will, you won't get it smooth. But I did do a test video of Aves in water, and if you leave it in water and you leave it in safety solvent, the safety solvent cures. Like if I put a ball, I did a video where you put a ball of safety solvent in, you know, of Aves in safety solvent and a ball in water, and the next day the ball and the safety solvent, you know, cured smooth and no problem. The ball in the water came all cloudy and it started to scrape off. When I first got into sculpting with this stuff back in the day, I sculpted a armor on a Bowen bust, but I used water. And then I used water to smooth it out, and I did everything. And the next day, when I went to sand it down and look at it, it all just started crumbling off the statue. So I learned my lesson that using water with Aves, with doing what I did, doesn't work. But you can try, you know, it's up to you if you want to try it and see if it works, you know. Galaxy, I guess doing what I'm doing now, you just sculpt with and use a paintbrush. I use paintbrushes because using this little metal piece, I cut into the safeties. I mean, I cut into the Aves, and then I use the brush to smooth it out. So whenever I'm sculpting, I'm using this metal, so I'm cutting it with the metal, and then the brush kind of helps smooth it as I cut, if that makes sense. So if you're going to do wrinkles, like these wrinkles here, you throw some Aves there with some of the solvent and use a paintbrush, you know, a brand new paintbrush, nice and with, you know, and you could kind of like cut into your Aves and smooth it out. So I do that in a lot of my videos. But I mean, you can roll out Aves and you could put it around an item, and you can, if you do it super thin enough, you can use like a cloth. You know, you can grab yourself a cloth and you could kind of give it a texture, you know. You could do that too. All kinds of stuff. Terrell, I knew somebody who swore by alcohol for like 3 years, and then they found a bottle of safety solvent in their collection and they used it, and they didn't know why they were using the alcohol on Aves all this time. So honestly, like I said, just get the safety solvent. Just, it's gonna work. You get used to it, you get used to sculpting with it, and then if you go and try something else, you'll be like, yeah, it's not gonna work. You can spend $4 for a bottle of alcohol, or you could spend, you know, $6, $8, $10 on safety solvent and just live with a peace of mind. So this was all done with, you know, safety solvent. Getting all this, and this is a section. I'll do a section today, let this cure up for the night, and then I'll do sections in here the next day. You know, some hair around here, and then another day I'll do this section over here, and then after that I'll do some random strands around there, and I just keep building it up each day. It's like layering. That's the way I work Aves. If you try to sculpt the whole hair, the whole item in Aves in one sitting, it's not going to work. You know, like when I did her gloves, I did this part over here, I wrapped Aves around it, I cut it out, and I sanded it down the next day, and then I did this layer the next day. So I just go in layers. Same thing with this arm, and then the same thing with the legs when I did those. But that's my personal preference. You might find doing it all in one shot's easier, but I'd rather take my time. Galaxy, I can never answer that question because I literally am working on like tons of stuff in the studio all day since this is a full-time thing. So I'll, you know, work on her hair for a few hours, and then I'll go over and work on something else, and then I'll work on that, and then another day I'll wake up and I'll just do paint work on stuff, and I couldn't really give you an idea of time. Only because the way I work, like I just said, I work in sections. So if I try and rush this hair on this side tonight, I screw up this side. So I rather let this cure, do something else, and then do that and that. It's just my work style. I guess it's because I came up with this work style because of Aves. Aves is not very, it's not like Super Sculpty where you could kind of keep sculpting and sculpting, go away, go get lunch, come back, sculpt onto it again, come back, and then bake it. You got a 3-hour window before Aves is just rock hard. So that's the downside with customizing. You want it to be a nice one of a kind, but you don't want to bake it and it to flake off in a year because Super Sculpty is not really made for long term. Aves, when Aves cures, it's friggin' rock hard like resin, so that's why I love this stuff. That's why I say if you guys want to get into customizing and you want to work with Aves, don't be afraid to have 3 projects, because it's best just to like, okay, I'm going to do the collar on her tonight, put it aside and then work on this guy's glove, you know, and then work on that person's weapon. It just makes life easier. And the other reason too while I use red is because now I can see residue sticking somewhere. So I'm like, okay, I got gray primer and there's a little bit of red Ave sticking here. I can scrape that out. That's another reason too. So I can see where I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I put too much Aves and it's cooked up. With regular natural look on gray, you kind of miss that. So you can see all the residue, the red residue in her neck. That's because I get messy. But if you have like a good clean paintbrush, you could kind of get in there and clean it up a bit. And now I know where to sand it tomorrow to kind of clean up that area. That's the only downside with the solvent, is if you're not careful, you can get it cakey all over the place. But you could clean with the solvent as you go. And that's why I buy all these paintbrushes, because you can see they start to get really funky after a few sculpts, or even one sculpt. But if you're lucky and you go to Jerry's or you find a store, you can get paintbrushes for like $1 a piece. And they're not useless though. After they get caked up and they're really funky at the tips, if you go to sculpt a base or something and you want texture and you have a rough brush, you could kind of create a texture with the rough brush. So they're not like completely useless. And then, you know, I can use them to mix resin too and then throw them away. So they go through phases. I'm pretty happy with where it's at, so I got my magnifying glasses on and I'm gonna try to smooth out some areas a bit. Yeah, small resin base with flames, nothing exciting. I think I'm gonna find, I think I have it in my shelf, but if I don't, I'm gonna pick up one of those figure art clear flame things, and this is the base. So I'm just gonna put some flames around it, and that's it. The goal is we're not making a crazy base for her. He doesn't have a lot of room on the shelf, so I want to just focus on the figure, really. Something simple. what are they? The or is it SHF figure art? And what is those anime fire kits that you can add on to your figures? I've used those in the past, so I think I'm just gonna get one of those. Cut it up, kind of use some Aves, and kind of make a little fire base for her. Simple. So when I got this statue from somebody, they just gave me the body. They didn't have the base for it. I didn't want the base anyway if they did have it. I sorta did do, back when I had a job, I actually commissioned somebody to do a rose sculpt for me. I actually posted a picture on my Instagram. And the idea was I was going to do it and make a couple copies to sell. And I lost my job. It went on a back burner. And then it just kind of sat and collected dust. And never really did much with it. Recently I'm trying to finish it up, but I used it more of a learning thing. So if I do a kit and produce it, I don't know how I would go about it. If I did do a kit though, I don't think I would do something where I sell like crazy copies or anything. I would just do like one or two to offset my cost to get what I want. If it was like a character from a comic. But if I was making my own item, I don't know. It gets expensive. It's not cheap. Because after making all those head bases for extra heads for the Sideshow statues was a lot of work. Sculpting, casting, painting. Not easy. Hey Gutson, no problem, man. You can draw whatever the hell you want. Go on my website, take a picture and draw it. I could care less. I think somebody did that a while back. I think somebody asked me if they can draw the customs I do or something. I go for it. I don't care. Have fun. If you like the design, you like the pose, whatever, whatever. There was a girl on Instagram who actually made a cosplay outfit off of my slave Harley Quinn custom, which I thought was awesome. She took the design and made a slave Leia Harley Quinn, and she actually won a contest, she said. I think she's in the Russia? Maybe Russia, I think? I don't know, pretty cool. Well, then, then again, there's a lot of ideas I get from people on DeviantArt that draw crazy characters and outfits and designs. So it's kind of like we all kind of take bits and pieces. This is going to be one of those spots where I got to redo tomorrow. He's just not moving the way I want it to. It's too hard now. Yeah, Gaston, do it. Go ahead, I'm on Instagram, tag me, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I'd love to see what the hell you come up with, that'd be great. If there's a picture that you want in better resolution on my site, just shoot me a message, I'll send it to you. I don't care at all. Although I think most of the pictures on my site are pretty high resolution, but if for some odd reason you need something better, just say so. Hey Jess. I figured you'd get a kick out of this one. I know you like the old school stuff. Yep, 1/4 Sideshow Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, or Phoenix, with a Troy McDvitt Wonder Woman ornament head. Mask is on, collar's worked, gloves and boots are pretty much looking like that. Got to figure out the rest of this here after I do the hair. And then pretty simple, straightforward. Old school, close to the cartoon as possible with my own little take. Gonna have the hair flowing this way in a sense, so this is gonna get built up tomorrow or the next, whenever I get extra Aves. I think what I'll do is I'll save this one for some live streams and just keep doing the hair on live streams. Some mellow stuff to work on while whenever I get a chance. Don't have much stuff I can do on streams lately. It's kind of like stuff I'm all over the place in the studio, the garage, so it's kind of hard to sit in one spot and stream it. I want to give it that wavy look though. Ace is getting really tough now, so it's kind of hard to even smooth it. But that kind of helps in just kind of this look. I think when I get ready to paint her, I don't think it's going to be metallic, but I think I'm going to make it look silky. Which means I think I'm going to put some pearls into the outfit and maybe some interference yellow. I think they have interference yellow, I gotta look. But yeah, I'm going to make it look silky like spandex more than metallic. At least that's the idea for now. But I haven't gotten that far yet. I don't like to go too pearl on too many outfits. I try to make them look more like spandex lately, if I can. Over the years I kind of changed up. I used to love just doing everything pearl and metallic, but I kind of toning it down a little bit here and there. Unless someone asks for it. Whatever the client wants, the client gets when I do stuff for them. Alright, so since this stuff is getting harder, I can start pulling it off the item and play with it, which is cool. The only problem is you gotta be careful it doesn't break. Like this one here, I could kinda do a little bit like that. And we could start doing that same thing with this one. That's the good thing about A's when it gets tough. You can kind of force it away a bit. So instead of just sitting there, it's kind of floating off. One of my recent videos where I talk about upgrades in the studio, you can see pretty much everything I have set up for lighting in the studio now. Right now I got one of these lamps with the magnifying glass. You know, it's one of these. And then I put LED lights all over the ceiling. Take it easy, Vigilante. Raccoon Jesse is coming along. The black latex paint is done. The white outfit is done. The skin tones are done. I have to work on the base. I'm gonna do like something different with the base. I mean, I'm keeping it the same, but painting it different. And then, whatchamacallit. So I gotta do, it's behind me, I can't show it now, my hands are a mess, but I gotta do the eyes, the eyebrows, the hair, and the R. So hopefully next weekend, not this weekend, but the next weekend should be done. The goal was to have it done this weekend, but that didn't work out. Getting there though, having a lot of fun with it. No question at all. It doesn't bother me at all. It's kind of why I do the live streams. Kind of just sit here, talk to people, talk shop, give some pointers. Sometimes people give me pointers too that help me out. Just kind of lay back and just, I mean, it's sculpting. There's not really too much I can do other than just sit here and just shoot the shit basically. Yeah, Jess, it's kind of funny you came in me working on this one. It's one of those projects where I just kind of like gotta clear my head, do my own little thing, and work on it. And like I said earlier in the stream, this is the last of my Aves. It's very tough and hardened, so it's good to work on hair with it at that point. But sadly, I gotta wait till they get more in stock. Raccoon, if I could get more Jessica rabbits, I would be making them like candy. Those things are so much fun. She's a character you can make into anybody you want. Sadly, the statue is so expensive. And I can't drop $2 grand on a statue to customize and try to flip. If somebody contacts me, I'll make them, but that's because they want their specific character. But yeah, I love Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit and Harley Quinn are the two characters you can make into anybody and it works. At least I think so. I still kick myself in the ass. Those Jessica Rabbits years back, when I lost my job, they were only going for like $150. And then out of nowhere, overnight, they just skyrocketed. I mean, I am doing 2 more Jessica Rabbits for people, but they're characters I sort of did before, so I've been working on them a little bit this week as well. Mockery, no. Sadly, I don't recast stuff. That's something I don't do. It's kind of frowned upon in the hobby. So I wouldn't do that. And I like to keep everything one of a kind too. So if I do an item for somebody, and they want the same item I did before, I try to change it up. But yeah, I don't recast stuff like that. It's a big no-no in the hobby. When I first started in the hobby, it was like, everybody was like, you don't do this, you don't do that, this and this, and I started learning all that stuff before I ever even attempted any of that. Now, I know other people might do it, but I don't. Plus, I think a lot of people like the idea of a one-of-a-kind in their collection. It's kind of like that feeling where, like, you know, and I mean, even to cast it up and then make different versions off of it's still a no-no. But with the technology these days and, like, you know, 3D printing, I mean, you could commission somebody to sculpt you an item and then print it out. And that's happening a lot. Go on Facebook groups, they're making all kinds of stuff. Yeah, 3D printing is sort of, it's kind of like back in the day when inkjet printers came out, and then all of a sudden like laser printers came out. Like laser printers were crazy expensive. I remember at the office I worked at, he had an old one which was like a $20,000 printer, a laser jet printer, and then like literally like 3 years later, 4 years later, everybody had one in their office. So we're kind of like at that with 3D printing. Like, everyone's starting to get them, but they're expensive and they're still working out kinks. And I figure in another 3 years, it's going to be like they're everywhere and it's cheaper. Like, small scale at least. Nothing like what Onage does. Because I know the stuff Onage has is like, I think their 3D printers are like, you know, 500,000 or something, I think. That's what Des said to me. I forget. But before you know it, everybody will have one and you'll be able to print out all kinds of stuff. Once the technology's there. But then that might kill the economy because you can print out, you know, you can print out anything basically. You don't have to go to the store and buy it. Yeah, the small ones are cheap, but the detail on them is not that good. I mean, they're really just not there yet in my eyes. I mean, if you get one now and you want to make your money back, you gotta print fast and you gotta get some stuff out the door to make your money back. But if you're kind of like slow on it, like in another year or a couple months, the printer you have will be obsolete. The resin will be obsolete. Somebody will come up with something new real fast, and you know, I've seen guys that buy a 3D printer already, and like 6 months later they want to buy a new one because the new model's better, and they're trying to get rid of the old one already. You know, because now you got to kind of UV dye it, you know, to heat up the stuff, and but pretty soon you'll be able, hell, in another 10 years you probably could print and it'll be in color too. Well, I mean, so there is, I think, some 3D printers out there that can print in color. So but if you want to learn on one now, that's good, because then you'll be ahead of the game for when they come out. I just envision, you know, people waking up, going to download a file for like a spatula, hit print, and then you got a print of a spatula instead of going to Walmart buying one. Stuff like that. Yeah, I've seen some really crazy stuff on YouTube of all these 3D printing and all these metalwork stuff. Absolutely amazing. I actually wanted to, when I made that Power Girl LSB, I wanted actual like metal steel piece for her brooch, and I contacted a place and they were like, yeah, we're not going to do that for you unless we make up like 3,000 of them. They're like, we don't do just one of a kinds. I was like, oh, and they were like, you're not going to find anyone to do that. And if you do, it's going to be, for just like that item, what probably would have cost me like 2K. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But I asked, I went around. Yeah, I contacted I did get 2 people that could have machined one, but it wasn't where I was kind of wanted the price range for just a little piece of metal. Maybe if I sat around and did a little bit more research and really, like, you know, I could have found somebody, but at that point I was like, that's enough. I'll just mold it and cast it myself and be done with it. It's hard to find people in the States. Yeah, this one is kind of like an out there character for what people usually ask for. But you'd be surprised, I have a couple people that have asked this in the past, and also from Bowens. Some people pulled the trigger, which I have to get to. Other people backed out. Sometimes I just don't have the time, I'm booked. Yeah, like I said, I would love to have that steel piece and then, you know, anodized chrome it or have it done up in brass or something, but oh well. But yeah, she's got a nice little wave to her hair, right? For now. Tomorrow or whenever I get my eaves, I can do a flow coming around here, maybe kind of come over the hair a bit, work out some stuff in here, underneath here, and probably build up a little bit back here too. And what I'll do is I'll kind of build up a strand, like this strand, on the back of it. The front of this worked out better than I hoped. This kind of worked out really good here. I was kind of worried about the front of this. I know her one hair sort of has it, it's kind of parted in the center, but I kind of want a little bit thicker over here and a little thinner over there for fun. But other than that, I think we're pretty much there for the night. I don't have any more A's. It sucks. See if we can scroll this down a bit. That's the cool thing about this camera setup. I can do this now. Yeah, Jamie, this one's coming along pretty well. Not going to be too not too crazy as far as base and stuff. She's got her little small base there. So yeah, I kind of go up there. And I do have the box of parts. Like I said, I think I need to order more. But this, you know, like this figure art stuff, this flame stuff here. Sort of gonna play with it, but I got all these flames here. This is the yellow kit though. This isn't the fire kit. I don't know why. I forgot why I bought the yellow kit. So I got to kind of figure out, do something like this. So the inside is going to be sculpted and painted, but the outside will probably look like that maybe. So I might kind of do something like this. Something along that lines. Nothing too crazy. Maybe get that a little bit closer. Pull this down here, and then sort of like that. It's kind of what I'm thinking about. Something simple, but the inside will be all painted red, and I'll probably maybe clear coat this unless I find another kit. I thought I had in the garage flame like hairs that I could break off and make like flames in the past and then paint it, but I don't think I have any left. That's kind of the idea I'm toying with. But that's pretty much. See, she's a little bit heavy going forward on this base. I gotta kind of put some more weight in there. I put a chunk of lead on the bottom, but it's not enough. I might have to actually make a bigger base for it. We'll have to see. But that's kind of the idea with this one so far. I'll keep toying with the ideas for the base while I work on her. Other than that, I think that's it. I think that's where we're going to call the stream for the night. I'm tired, I got to clean up, and I don't have any more sculpting material. So what I'll do is I'll save her for some streams. Maybe next week sometime, I'll come back. I'll do another stream with working on her hair. Hopefully I get the A's in, and we could go from there. So hopefully you guys liked it so far. Nice mellow stream. That's pretty much it. So you guys have a good weekend. I'll talk to you guys later.